Hey folks, this is Rodney from Fat Off the Bone, and this is a perfect example, this video, of what our channel is all about. Whenever you're watching this, today it's a Friday afternoon here, beautiful March afternoon here in North Carolina, and I spent most of the day working with my beehives, checking on those, so then it got time to get ready to cook dinner, or supper as we call it here in the South. So I wanted to grill something out, didn't want to get too involved, so I'm thinking meatball subs would be great to do on the grill, and then we'll show you the whole process. So what I want to show you is a simple way to do that. And so I go by the store, our local supermarket here, and I get some 80-20 beef. It's got the right amount of fat in it. So I buy 3 packs of this, and then while I was shopping, I noticed they had a pack of ground pork, and I thought that'd be good to add into it. So we're gonna get all of our meat here in our mixing bowl, and these are really great because it's very few ingredients, and unlike baking where things your temperatures need to be exact, your times, your measurements are very crucial in baking, grilling and dealing with this is not necessarily that crucial. So one of the things that my buddy Shane, I talked to him earlier today, and he's busy working with his cows. So, but he'd given me this Rufus Teague, and it's a steak rub. But I'm thinking hamburger meat, a little bit of pork, it's got to be good. So I'm gonna try that. I've never used it in this application. So I'm gonna put some of that rub in there, not a whole lot, and I'm doing a little experimenting. And that's one of the things that you need to understand when you're out doing grilling, and we want to make things simple. Try something. Hamburger meat's relatively inexpensive. If it's not good, then I guess we'll just order out or something tonight. But I have a feeling this will be great, the way we're going to do it. We've got a couple legs I'm going to use. These are from some chickens that we raise here on the farm. And I like to use these eggs. You don't have to do this step. I like to use it just as a binder. Gives it a little bit of moisture. And then the final ingredient that I'm going to use is some Italian style breadcrumbs. Again, another binder, helps in that meat. Also, the fat content of the meat in the pork is going to work really well. One of the useful tools that I like in the kitchen is this mixer here. Works great for ground beef. You can get in there with your hands, and the best kitchen tool that you'll ever own, and you were born with them, is your hands here. You notice that we don't use, in all of our videos, we don't use gloves, and please, if you want to use gloves, do that. There's certain situations that we may. I'll tell you why I don't use gloves, and what I've found is people get a false sense of cleanliness when they wear gloves. And they think because it's not touching their hands, but that glove, whatever it touches, is the same. And when I'm using my hands, and you'll see me do this when I make out these meatballs, is I wash my hands more when I don't wear gloves, and which is a good thing. So again, you may have to wear gloves for certain things, but I just would rather use my bare hands. This is gonna be so good. Some of even the insects out here want to get in on it. So I'm getting everything mixed up here. Very simple. Again, I like this little tool. It's really works well when I'm cutting up or mixing up ground beef, or any kind of ground meat, rather, whether it's turkey or chicken, or let's say we added a little bit of pork into that. And those are going to be perfect. So I'm going to get this out of the way. Now, these grilling baskets, you could use any kind that you'd like. These came with a grill that I had bought years ago. The grill looked great. I couldn't keep the grill up to temperature. And I've never had an issue with keeping heat onto something. But for some reason, that grill would just not stay hot. And the best thing about it was this little grilling basket set that I got. So what I want to do is on these, I was just going to make these out real quick. And imagine an oversized golf ball. That's the size that I'm shooting for on this. Again, you don't have to be exact. You're cooking for your family and friends. I wouldn't really worry too much about being everything absolutely symmetrical, the same size. I was told one time that there's beauty in imperfection. My buddy Dennis told me that. We were talking about some construction that was going on there out here in the country where we live. Was a brick wall. And I said, man, that brick wall's crooked. He goes, there's beauty in imperfection. So every time I look in the mirror, I remind myself of that. So we're going to make these meatballs, and probably a little bit bigger than you may get it. If you go to the supermarket, you'll see meatballs that are made out already, and that's perfect. If that's what you want to use and put on the grill, or you can put those in the oven or an air fryer, it's great. But I like making these out. And on the hoagie rolls that we have, you'll probably get 3, which is a good portion. And I can tell you that this pork is really, get off of there. This pork is going to be really good in this. It's going to add some fat to it, and that 80-20. 80-20 is what I use for hamburger meat. It's just a good all around, the right amount of fat to lean meat. Again, just play with this. Once in a while you'll get a little piece that doesn't want to act just right. And these will shrink as they cook, so even if you think you're crowding up a little bit, they'll shrink on you. You don't have to worry too much about that. Part of that is again getting in there and playing with the food. But don't be afraid to try new things if you've never done a meatball subs. And these are great. They're quick. We're gonna cook them all here on the grill, and we're gonna toast our hoagie rolls on here. We're gonna throw some provolone cheese on top. I'm gonna look in the spice cabinet if I find something to sprinkle on top, some Italian seasoning. I may do that. We'll have some banana peppers that we'll top it off with. And I've got about 7 people to feed with this, so it's gonna work out great. And if I've got some meatballs too many, then they will certainly save, or can just eat them on their own. Might have spaghetti tomorrow night. We can throw them in there. So anyway, you get the idea here. We got about 2 more left. And that is, I'm going to throw a little bit of, maybe take some of these off to spread these out a little bit. So that's our meatballs made up. Again, I used 80-20 ground beef, and then I had a pack of pork that I threw in. I threw a little Rufus Teague in, 2 of our farm fresh eggs here, and some Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. And we're going to get the grill. We're going to get the big green egg, get the lump charcoal going in that, and then we'll get the meatballs on and show you the next. Hey folks, we're going to talk about lighting this big green egg to cook those meatballs on. And one of the things I like about lump charcoal is, last night I used this lump and I was cooking some chicken. I did a slow cook on some a whole chicken. And then what I did is I closed everything down and then extinguished the fire. So then I raked around the old charcoal, and I'm able to reuse my lump charcoal. And then of course this is a new piece. I just had to add a little bit more to it. So you can't really do that with briquettes, but you can do it with lump. and you just keep using it until it burns out. And I think it works great doing it that way. Also, one of the ways, we talk a lot about the ways to light charcoal, and we use chimney starters for most of our cooking. But this is basically a heat gun. It's a loop lighter, and I've really used this a lot. If they want to send me a new one, that'd be great. But I'm gonna show you how easy it is to light a grill with this. So you just stick it in, you turn it on, and get things rolling. So I've got my charcoal in here, and so probably about 30 seconds we'll start seeing some flame. And you can see some of the smaller pieces. I was getting down toward the end of the bag of my lump. Look at there. So probably like 15 seconds, I'm already seeing some lighting. With lump, you're going to get some popping that you don't get with briquettes. That's fine. And then as it starts to light, I'll raise it. I'll move it away from the fire, or away from the lump, really. Just like you're blowing on the fire. And if you think you want to push the fire a little bit in a certain direction, so no flames coming out. It's a heat gun. I'm not sure that a heat gun you'd buy at an auto store for taking off decals or other craft projects will get hot enough. So there you go, folks. Less than a minute. We've got our lump going, and I'm just going to take my tool and my ash tool or my coal tool, and I'll pull that around. I've got the vents open on this. And we're going to put my grate in. I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to open the top vent so that I get a draft. I know you would think that leaving this open would get air too, but I've found that if I shut it on these eggs or any of the Kamado style grills, I've got a few different brands, that when I do that, it creates more of a draft, and my coals will be up. So in about probably 10-15 minutes, we'll get those meatballs on. All right, so our lump's up to temperature. I put on my second rack to accommodate both of the trays of meatballs. So we're just going to put this on. Put that back. No. And we'll check back on these in maybe 5-7 minutes or so. And we might have to turn them a little bit, but we'll be right back. Alright, so it's just been a few minutes and we put the meatball subs on, and sorry about we really were burning some daylight. So we see that our provolone's melted. Oh, we're going to take these off, put them right here, and man, you can tell the bread's just by listening to it. It's had some toast on it, and if you want some banana peppers, we'll throw that on top. And that, folks, is a quick or an easy way. That is an easy way to do meatball subs. I'm Rodney, and you're watching Fat Off the Bone, and we would appreciate you hitting the like button. We'd appreciate you subscribing. Of course, it's free, you know that, or following us. And we're gonna get these to the family here, and we're gonna make some mouse hats.